The debate over firefighting on land that in Idaho, I should say, it keeps getting a little bit hotter. We talked about it yesterday a little bit with House Bill 389 and the Bureau of Land Management reacting to this bill that would allow the state to fight fires on federal lands and seek reimbursement if they were to do so. There's already a system in place, we were told. It's called the Master Fire Agreement, and it's been in place since 2006. The agreement between the 5 federal agencies, the Idaho Department of Lands, and it says whoever might be closest to that fire should go out there and fight it as soon as possible. And if a federal agency fights a fire on state land or vice versa, the plan also has a plan to pay each other for doing that. So why is there a need? Why would there be a need for a bill to do the exact same thing, which is what's happening at the State House right now?
Yeah, and lawmakers and the agencies fighting these fires really seem to be on 2 different pages when it comes to that answer. I asked Representative Judy Boyle, who's the bill sponsor, how her bill differs from the existing agreement. She says she's aware of the agreement, but she feels there's a gap which she's trying to close. The agreement divides up the state into areas of responsibility for which agencies respond to fires on that land. Boyle believes there are some areas where the state isn't allowed to fight fires on federal land. But BLM, a spokesperson with BLM, says the state doesn't need permission to fight fires on those federal lands. They say in a previous version of the agreement, the verbiage says response of closest forces was not in there, but it has been in place in that agreement since 2023, which is the last time this agreement was updated. In the agreement, the closest forces concept says initial attack suppression resources is to prioritize the closest and most appropriate resource, regardless of ownership, control, or which agency holds protection responsibility or jurisdiction. Now, this master agreement was the topic of today's discussion in the Senate committee hearing that this bill got. And it also outlines how agencies are reimbursed if they do fight a fire on land that is not managed by them. The bill wants to give the Attorney General authority to seek reimbursements through civil suits, but Senator James Rutke is concerned that would violate the agreement that we're already in.
I'm trying to figure out how the Attorney General's office is going to have a chance at being successful in a lawsuit when we've already entered into an agreement regarding who pays what in these situations and who has what obligations.
Representative Boyle says she has been informed. The federal government is several years behind in paying Idaho in these scenarios, which is why she added the Attorney General section to try and recover these costs. BLM did acknowledge that reimbursements take time, but they said for the most part, these are really handled within that time frame that they're supposed to be. But there are instances where there might be something going on with that fire. They might need to look into something more, and that might take longer.
Yeah, and I guess it would cost more money than to file a lawsuit to get this thing done.
Yeah.
The question we ask a lot, like, why is this necessary? This seems like on both fronts, it's really not.
Yeah, especially when you come to that Attorney General clause. He doesn't need to have a bill to be able to pursue civil action if the federal agencies aren't paying the state.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Aspen.